So we have 2 freshmen. Yeah, I mean, if it's okay, it's okay. Yeah. So did you, both of you, did you do meditation before?
Yes.
Yeah.
What kind of meditation?
Focus on the breath.
Focusing on the breath,
Yeah,
anapanasati?
Yeah, and bodily sensations.
Bodily sensations? So, yeah. And?
Me, many kinds of meditation, but repeating the word Buddha,
Yeah.
the in-breath and the out-breath, keeping the whole body in mind with the person mind.
Did you go did you ever take a meditation course or?
Yeah, 10-day Goenka retreat.
10-day Goenka?
Yeah,
That's
and
good
then
stuff.
him and me have gone on retreats together, like private.
Private retreat. You also did a Goenka retreat?
Yeah, some. And sometimes I go with Simon with just the 2 of us.
So how did you end up here?
Through Simon?
What?
Me falling asleep to your voice every night on YouTube. That's how I came here.
While I'm talking, he falls asleep. That's not a good promotion. And how did you find it on YouTube or what?
Yeah, on YouTube.
And then you told him, oh?
Yeah. And we were going to Thailand and looking for a monastery.
Yeah.
And then we find this place.
Okay. Because it's not the most common monastery here, yeah?
No.
Yeah. There are lots of more common places in Bangkok or in Chiang Mai, yeah? With lots of students. So, how did you first get interested in meditation?
Out of suffering.
Dukkha.
Yeah. I'm looking for a way out.
Looking for a way out. But then 2 weeks is not enough.
But I do want to become a monk one day.
What?
I want to become a monk.
You want to become a monk. I think that it must have been 15 years ago, or 16 or... I don't know. How many panzas do I have now?
24.
24? Wow. There must be 20 years ago where I saw 2 Swedish monks. The only time I ever seen them. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29?
35.
35? Well, that's a good age. That's you should hurry up if you want to go. Doesn't get easier, yeah? Windy, when we get older, huh? Windy? Doesn't get easier. The older we get, the more difficult it is. Yeah? Also the body, plays a part of it. This and that and that. So dukkha, yeah? Dukkha is the first noble truth. But don't translate it as suffering. Yeah? If you ask people, yeah, do they suffer? I mean, they don't suffer really. Yeah? There are few, yeah? But we have all dukkha. Yeah? Discomfort, dis-ease, yeah? Dissatisfaction. Yeah? That is dukkha. Yeah? Restlessness, pain, and of course, suffering. That is the first noble truth. And we start every morning. We start with the first noble truth. Yeah? When we want to get out of bed, and when we wake up and we don't want to get out of bed, then we already have dukkha. Yeah? You need to go to work, but you don't want to. Yeah? That's dukkha already. Yeah? And then we are hungry. It's dukkha of the body. Yeah? Then we are thirsty. It's dukkha of the body. Yeah? It's an uncomfortable feeling. That's it. Dukkha, uncomfortable. Yeah? So we eat. Yeah? When we are hungry, we sleep. When we are tired. When we go to the toilet, yeah, when it's pressing, that's a lot of dukkha, yeah, when you need to go to the toilet. Yeah? And that is just the dukkha of the body. Now think about all the unpleasant things that we hear, that we don't like to hear, that we see and we don't like to see, yeah? That we feel and we don't like to feel. Lots of dukkha, and that is the mind dukkha, or the dukkha of the citta. So, our life is a lot of dukkha, but most of us don't want to see it. Huh? We turn away our eyes when we see something that doesn't comfort us. That is a very normal reaction of everybody. Yeah? Somebody, who sees a heap of shit, lying there on the pathway, he doesn't look at it, stares at it and says, well, what is this? How does it feel like? Yeah? Huh? Yeah. How does it smell? Doesn't smell very good, yeah? Huh? And then, then he's not yet convinced that, that it is something, then he tastes something, yeah. It smells like shit, it looks like shit, and it tastes like shit, so it must be shit. Yeah? That's the way for us how to do body investigation. Yeah? We are not just looking at it and say, that's it. Yeah? No. We have to feel it, yeah? We have to smell it, yeah? and we have to taste it, so that we understand it, so that we can be 100% sure. But why do we have dukkha? Yeah? Because we are not satisfied. We want this and we want that. Yeah? We don't like this and we don't like that. So our desire creates all this dukkha. And we can, when we are meditating, we can experience a moment where there is no desire, and that is called samadhi. When there is no more thoughts, and when there are no more memories coming up, there is no more desire. And we are completely happy. We are completely at ease. And in this moment, and that's what shows us, yeah, where the dukkha is coming from. So we can actually experience, the teaching of the Lord Buddha just within our own heart when we do a little bit of meditation. Dukkha is created the moment we come out of samadhi and want this and want that and are not satisfied with this and not satisfied with that. When we are going into samadhi, we don't want anything. And so there is no dukkha. There is no memory coming up that tells us, this wasn't good or that wasn't good. There is no thoughts coming up together with memory, projecting into the future. If I do this, I will be happy. If I get this, I will be happy. If I that, yeah. Because memories and thoughts stop in samadhi. There is no memories and thought. There is no past, there is no future, and there is no desire. How can we not be happy? And all what we need is to concentrate, on one point. Yeah? Be it the tip of the nose or around the tip of the nose, observing the breath going in, going out, knowing that the breath is fast, knowing that the breath is subtle, knowing that the breath is rough, or knowing that the breath is long or short. Yeah? In-breath is longer than the out-breath, or the out-breath is longer than the in-breath, whatever. Knowing this. And not giving into any kind of thoughts and memories that come up. Yeah? Just replace them, just like we do it every day in our life. Yeah? We see it something, we don't like it, we replace it with another view. So, this kind of meditation is nothing new to us. Yeah? We do it all our life, but we have never done it in a way, that relieves us from the dukkha. And this time we train it. So whenever there is a thought coming in, we return back to our Buddha, or we return back to the breath, until the mind really gets empty, until the mind really gets quiet. That's all. It sounds so easy, it is so easy to tell you how to meditate. Yeah? And yet it is so difficult, just to stay at this one point. Knowing. Yeah? Because what happens to most of the meditators, the moment the mind gets a little bit calm, they don't stay with the breath or with the Buddha. They stay with the calm. They stay with the results of their meditation, and then this calmness disappears, and then they feel sorry. Huh? I mean, it is like digging the hole. That's why I always use, I like the simile, digging a hole. As long as you dig the hole, it gets deeper. Yeah? And the hole is the result of our digging. So the feeling of calmness or happiness or whatever it is, or peacefulness, is the result of our digging. And digging is, staying at one point. But people forget it. The moment they have a nice feeling, they instantly latch onto it. Yeah? And then, of course, this nice feeling, just like everything, disappears, goes away. Yeah? And then we run after it. Yeah, where is it? Yeah? And our meditation never progresses. Yeah? Because we're running after all these pleasant sensations. I mean, it's not different, people all over the world running after pleasant sensation. Yeah? They eat an ice cream, pleasant sensation, then they go and drink a coffee, pleasant sensation, then they go eat something or do something, when it is hot, they go and swim, and so on. Always pleasant sensation, running after, yeah? Never actually, investigating what is the pleasant sensation, yeah? And that it disappears, that it is anicca, anatta, yeah? And dukkha, yeah? Because it disappears, it's dukkha. So meditating is really, sticking to the one point. And then we can experience the first noble truth and the second noble truth by ourselves. Yeah? So the second noble truth, the moment desire goes, we feel happy, we feel comfort, we feel at ease, we feel peaceful, or we are just still. Yeah? And that is the result of our meditation. And the more effort we put into, yeah, and the less we are interested about this world, and that's why a monastery is really a good place. Yeah? We are cut off the world. Yeah? We have no contact with the world. So we don't get interested, or the world doesn't come to us. So it is a perfect place in order to practice. And there are not too many people around, yeah, that you can get in contact. And now what we have to do is just returning from the moment we wake up. Our meditation starts from the moment we wake up. That's where it starts. We repeat the Buddha or we observe the breath until the evening when we go to rest. And when we fall asleep, then our meditation stops. And no matter, what we do during the day, yeah? be it eating or going on pindapat or sweeping the sala, we stay with the Buddha or we stay with the breath, because there's nothing that we have to think about in this monastery. So we can stay all the time, until the night, with our Buddha or with our breath, until we see, yeah? the upachara samadhi or access samadhi, yeah? Until thoughts and memories stop. And then we can see, then we can experience the samadhi. And we can experience that there is a place where there is no dukkha. And then we come back out of samadhi and instantly the dukkha comes back. Everything, nothing has changed. Even if you go deeper. Upachara samadhi is access samadhi. Even if you go deeper, even if you go into one-pointedness, then the experience will be much, much more clearer. What is one-pointedness? One-pointedness is when subject and objects merges into one point. At the moment we still observe the breath, we know about the breath, or we observe the Buddha and we know about the Buddha. But when the observer and the object observed becomes one, what can we say about the state of mind? Nothing. And we can really say nothing about it. Because it is, we live in the world of duality. The moment duality crashes into singleness or single-pointedness, we cannot say. The whole universe has to disappear. Duality has to disappear. And that is the first wonder of meditation. Or, like my master, Lungta Mahabua, told you, it is a preview of Nibbana. That's where you can feel Nibbana. And the first thought when you come out of it, is how do I get back? We don't want to live in this world. We don't want to live in this world of duality, where you constantly have to fight, you have to observe, you have to know, you have to do this, and you have to do that, you have to react to this, and you have to react to that. We don't want to. Because that state of appana samadhi, or single-pointed, or one-pointedness, is so great. When you come back, you feel like you're in a world war. Because all these senses, shooting at you, are asking you for a reaction. That is tiring. So that would be the first wonder of meditation, entering the state of appana samadhi, or one-pointedness. And there you can see, that is the preview of Nibbana. And I don't think anybody, who will say, oh, that is boring. Because there's no boredom, because there's no observer, and there's no things to be observed. All what is left, all what you know is, there was knowingness, but this kind of knowingness is the pure kind of knowingness that doesn't know about any objects. It's just like you go into a blank space, but you know that this blank space, is actually everything, that makes this duality. From this blank space, the duality is created. But if you stay in this blank space, there is no creation. Because whatever is created has to cease. But whatever the chitta itself, or this knowingness, has never been created. So it cannot cease. So that is when you want to call it, when you want to call it, this is our true self, but there is no more self. Because there is no more object and there is no more subject. And that's why, it is called the preview of Nibbana. What did the Lord Buddha say? Neither am I nor am I not. So what is that? What does it mean? He's neither dead nor is he alive. He doesn't live in this world of duality. And the world of duality is created, is created from this knowingness. It's just like we, we live in the world, Think about 50 years ago, there were no computers, There were no games. There were no virtual reality games. Nowadays we have it. And if you have friends, who play these virtual reality games or PC games, you see how they're lost, how they get lost. We created them, Living in an illusion, we create a second layer of illusion for people, who don't want to live in this world, because it is, whatever, they don't like it, they're not happy with it. So they want to live in their illusion of this video game. And that's when it stops, it says game over, then they play it again, and again, and again. And when this kind of video game, you can see, when we die, we want to play it again. We want to live again. And that's why we are born again, and born again, and born again. And we can never get enough. Because there are so many variations of life. There are so many variations of life form. There are 31 realms of existence, and we can, if we know how to get there, we can get in them. And then one time we are gods, one time we are just devas, next time we are in hell, or sometimes some of us, might have been in the past in the Lord of Hell, or some overseers in hell, or ghosts, or hungry ghosts, or animals. And animals, every one of us has been animals. So we played all the roles that we can play, but we can't get enough. Because we think, just like in our life, if we do something like this, it will become better. That is our motivation to do things. Yeah? Oh, if I do this, I will be happier, or I will be more powerful, or I will have this, or I will have that. And that's why we never can get out of it, unless, we investigate and stop the desire to become, or to want. This desire, this desire that promises us that there is something, if we do it in a different way, that there is something better to be expected. That's how the kilesas constantly fool us. And you are old enough to see, If I have this, I will be happy. How long have you been happy? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe a day or 2 days, and then you want the next thing. And there's no end to it. And if it didn't work out, that you be happy, what do our inner voices tell us? Yeah, you didn't do this right, you didn't do that right, you should have done it like this, you should have done it like that. I'm so tired of this. And what do we say? Yes, my Lord, you're right, I should have done it like this. You always believe this voice in your ear, It is like your friend tells you, you should do it like this, And if it is your friend, if it is another person, you ask, why? Nowadays they don't ask why, but we used to ask why. Why should I do it like this? Nowadays we just follow everybody, The leader says something, reminds me a little bit of the Third Reich, The leader says something and we follow it up, We never question anything anymore. And we are not trained when you look at your education, Are you trained to think about it? Are you trained to have different thoughts than the teacher? Not anymore. It used to be after the Second World War, when I myself, went to school, where the teachers asked us, Do you see that? Do you believe it? Of course we said yes. And then he said, you're stupid. Prove me that I'm wrong, or prove me that I'm right. Just don't believe anything that I tell you. But that has been gone. Or did you have a teacher, who told you to think about what he says, to ponder about what he says? No. They teach you, you should believe this, you should believe that, this is like this is like that. And 5 years later they say, sorry, we were wrong, now we know, this is like this, 100%, Just like medicine, just look the story or the history of medicine, what they tell you, Every 5 years they come out, sorry, we were wrong, but now we know, And 5 years later, now we know, we were wrong all the time. Physics, pretty much the same, Not the basic physics stays on. But the understanding, we didn't encounter this. It is very complex, this universe, And there's not one mind who will be able to understand it, to grasp it, except maybe for the Lord Buddha, He understands, he sees, He sees the basic building blocks, he sees the law of karma, because we never, even in physics, we don't we don't encounter the law of karma. Results, cause and effect. We have, certain cause and effect, but, a lot of things go wrong in the physical world, that we wouldn't believe couldn't go wrong. Like with the atomic power plants, Oh yeah, that is safe, Until the first blew up, So, coming back, let's go, let's go and investigate. What is that? Just for completion, the third noble truth is there is an end of dukkha, and the fourth noble truth is the path that leads to the end of dukkha. When you come here in the monastery, you keep the 8 precepts, and normally we keep the 5 precepts. So the path to the end of dukkha is sila, samadhi, panya. Sila, 5 precepts. Samadhi, the ability to concentrate and develop sati, the knowingness of the object that we observe. And then panya, the investigation. And Panya is the only thing that sets us free. Just like I talked before, when we come out of samadhi, everything is the same. Nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed that we know, we've been in a safe haven, for a while. That's the only thing that we know. That's the only insight that we got from the experience of samadhi, be it upachara samadhi or apana samadhi. But nothing now behavior has changed. That only changes once we start to investigate. And what do we investigate? The 5 things that we believe we are, or the 5 groups, or the 5 khandhas, or however you want to call it. What are the 5 khandhas? The 5 khandhas are the body. And we identify with this body. We think we are the body is us. The second khandha, what we identify with is feeling. We are these feelings. The feelings are us. The third is, memory, association. The fourth is thought. Short kind of thoughts. And the last is consciousness. These 5 groups. And whenever you want to define yourself, you define yourself within these 5 groups. There's nothing outside of these 5 groups that you would take to define yourself. No? With the body, of course, comes the 6 senses. The senses of thinking, the senses of seeing, of hearing, of smelling, of touching, and tasting. But without a body, we still can feel. We still can think. We don't need this. This body is nothing else than a computer or a robot. And the problem is that we are born in this robot, and die in this robot, so we believe that we are this robot. Just like you're born in a car, die in a car, and never get out of the car. Of course you believe you are the car. How can you not believe it? It's impossible not to believe it. But the Lord Buddha came, and knocked at the window, and said, get out, look, this car and you, the driver, are not the same thing. And it is most difficult for us, to understand this attachment to the body. That's why we investigate it first. It is most difficult to understand that we are not this body. So when this body dies, we don't die. The driver, when you crash your car, and you don't die in the car crash, but the car is wrecked, what do? You go, you go and invite your family and relatives, to bury the car, or you just put it on the scrapyard and get a new car, What kind of fuss in the West do we do about this body, Burial ground, all these recitations, and this poor guy, he's gone long, the moment the body doesn't work, you don't sit in your car when it is wrecked or doesn't work anymore and say, this car doesn't work anymore, I want to stay in there, You don't sit there, The first time you notice this, it doesn't work, the brakes doesn't work, the engine doesn't work, you get out, and leave it behind you. And that is with the body. The moment the breath stops, people get out, or the chitta gets out and looks for a new body. And depending on the merit, or depending, in the worldly sense, depending on the money that you save, you can buy a new car, a small car, or a big car, whatever. And depending on our merit, the chitta goes, either in the lower realms or in the upper realms, or comes back as a human being. That's it. We don't. The moment the breath stops, we don't worry about this body anymore. We just go instantly. Except when we are spiritually a little bit advanced and want to know what our relatives are saying. Then we stay around for a little while, see how they cry over that, never cried over us, before, never cared about us, but when we are dead, then they start to care about us, It's so funny, we did, probably some of us did, and just, it's interesting, to see, if we have the ability, Most of the people don't have the ability, but people who develop their spiritual faculties, do have the ability to stay around a little bit, and see, what is going to happen, once the body is dead. And then we can see it all, And we can even, once we are a little bit more spiritual advanced, we actually can look, how this body rots away. That is a very good thing. It just turns back into, where it came from. I mean, in Christianity, so you say earth to earth, but it's not earth to earth. The body is earth, water, fire, air. The air goes out first. And everything in this universe is made out of these four elements, including our consciousness, what we don't believe, including thoughts, including memories. They're all made out of these four elements. There's nothing else. There's no other element. Four elements. Thoughts. Once you see thoughts dissolve into these four elements, you will be so amazed. Wow. You couldn't believe it, but then you can see it dissolve once you have a little bit more sati. You can even see consciousness stop. And say, there's still something there, even if there's no consciousness. These are amazing states of mind. But we have to work, Joan, we have to work long, to get there. Don't fall asleep. But the first thing that we are going to investigate is pain. Pain. We don't like pain. We hate pain. We instantly go to the doctor. Give me some pill against this pain. Give me some pill against this, or repair this. I mean, we take our body to the repair shop. Just like we take our car to the repair shop. This doesn't work, so we go and see the doctor, and then he fixes it. Where's the difference between a bodily repair shop and a car repair shop? Sometimes, they operate, they take this out, and put something. So what is so great about this body? And how can you say, you are the body? You just happen to inhabit it because you wanted it. Just like you want a car, you buy a car, and then you drive the car. We wanted this body because, yes, this body is like a robot, just like we use in the world robots, to create something, that we are getting tired of. We cannot create so easily. We can create these buildings, we can create skyscrapers, we can create airplanes, all these things, with this body. But they are all bodily things, They're all cross materials that we can create through this body. That's probably why we like this body. So that's why we have to investigate. But the first thing in meditation, we investigate pain. Oh, it's so painful. Oh, it's so painful. It's so painful. What is pain? What is pain? The moment we get up from our meditation, there's no more pain. So what kind of pain is that? When you sit in front, in front of a TV, or when you used to go to the movies, the movie lasted for 1 or 2 hours, Was there pain? No. We meditate for 45 minutes and, I can't. It's too painful. You fly from Sweden, you sit in the airplane for 11 hours or 8 hours, and there, where's the pain? You meditate, for 2 hours, and you can't bear the pain. What kind of pain is it? That's why we need to investigate. We always, all our life, we were running away from the pain. trying to get away from the pain. Just the same as we try to get away from the unpleasant sensations, and run after the pleasant sensations. There's another good simile that I always like, yeah? I mean, you have this German, this German Dackel or Dachshund, yeah? A very short-legged, and then, yeah, long snout, and then a short tail, yeah? So you bind a sausage in front of him, yeah? And you bind some tin cans on his tail, yeah? And then he runs. He never stops. Huh? He runs after the sausage, and because he runs, he never gets it. Yeah? And he runs away from the noise, And if he would stop, the noise would stop, and he would get his sausage. But we run and run and run. Yeah? You remember the simile of the Lord Buddha? Yeah, I mean when he caught up with what was his name, Angulimala? Yeah, and Angulimala told you're running. I said I stopped running a long time ago. Yeah. I stopped running after the pleasant sensations, running away from the unpleasant sensations. That's what he meant. Yeah? And we do that. So just stop, yeah? Just stop running after and stop running away from it. So investigate pain. What is pain? Where is it coming from? Yeah? And if you're good at it, then once your concentration is good, then you go to the point of pain. And then look where it is, where actually is it located, yeah? Or is it anicca? Is it impermanent? And you will see it is impermanent. Sometimes stronger, sometimes it's weaker. Then it gets stronger again, weaker again. One can get completely, one can completely get satisfied in the investigation of pain. But first of all, we have to accept pain, and that is the most difficult thing for us. We don't like pain. Just like we don't like to smell shit. Yeah? Pain. Yeah? Now, how does it feel? What is pain? How does it feel? Breathe it in through a hole, and every sensation of your body know it. And then start to investigate. And if you are close to it, if you try to locate it and you're nearly at the point, then it disappears. And it appears somewhere else. How can that be? Huh? But we never ask this question. Huh? We always believe the person, it's too much pain. Yeah? We always believe this voice, that constantly commentates, what is happening. Oh, this is nice, or this is not so nice, or this I want, this I don't like, yeah. Or this pain is too much, we should start, or I'm too tired, I should go to sleep. Who tells you this? And who knows that there's somebody telling you something? There must be two different things, yeah? Just like Goethe said, yeah? Two souls are inhabiting my chest. The soul of darkness and the soul of light. Yeah? Lunga Mahabodhi said the same thing, the Dhamma and Avijja. Yeah? And it is a constant fight. Yeah? We'll see it sooner or later. Yeah? This fight, yeah. But as long as we believe the kilesas have the have the power over us. And we are the ones who give the power to them. Because we believe them. Just like we are told in school, believe it, what I say is right, yeah? And we say, yes, teacher, yeah. And the same thing is, you should do the same thing with me, yeah? What I'm teaching you, yeah? How do you know I'm right? Yeah? Isn't there a sutta about the Lord Buddha, telling us, yeah? You have to do the same thing with my teaching. Yeah? I tell you, this leads to good. If it doesn't lead to good, disregard me. Yeah? But if it leads to good, then you can start believing me. And just believing what people say, that is useless. Yeah? It's just a belief, just like Christianity is a belief. Yeah? That there is a God. Yeah? It's a belief. It's a completely belief system. There are many gods. There's not one God. There are many gods. When you look at the Buddhist description of the 31 realms. Yeah? There are many gods. Yeah? There's the heaven of the 16 gods. Yeah? There's the god of creation, and there's the god of destruction. Yeah? These are the highest realms. So the one creates and the other destroys. Yeah? Just like in our world, yeah. And some people create and others love to destroy the creations of others. So, okay. You want to know how long to meditate? From the morning you wake up until the night you close your eyes, yeah? And you can change it from sitting to walking and from walking to sitting, yeah? But at least, one sitting hour, sitting session should be 1 hour. Yeah? That's a minimum. And walking, you should even do more. Yeah? Maybe 2 hours, yeah? And then 3 hours, and then 4 hours. And then you see, the longer you meditate, the longer you stay on one object continuously, the deeper your calm becomes. But the more hindrances also. Oh, it's boring. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, this or that. With walking, there's less pain, but there's tiredness, and so on. These are basic hindrances that we have to overcome. We just disregard them. Yeah? Okay, you're tired. Okay, go to sleep. I go on. I practice. If you're tired, go to sleep. Who tells you that? Yeah? Okay, enough for today. You have any questions?
I have a question about fasting.
About what?
Fasting. Like
fasting.
Fasting, yeah.
Not now. No. Eat little, that's enough. Yeah. It's the same for Joanne. Yeah. I don't want to see you fasting for the first month. Just get in the routine. Yeah. And fasting is only, if you really want to exert yourself in the practice. Because fasting is practically 22 hours of meditation, yeah? And you're not disturbed by anything. You don't come and sweep, in the afternoon. You don't come, yeah? Maybe you come to the Pana and have a sweet drink, yeah? That's it. Yeah? That is really only for exerting your practice. If your practice is not going well, there's no point in fasting, yeah? If you still struggle, to keep up, 10 or 12 hours of meditation daily, there is no need to fast, yeah? Yeah? But if you think, I have so little time, that what happened to me when I came to Pantan, these 12 or 13 hours that I was practicing were too little, there were too many activities going on, yeah? And then I started to practice, then I started to fast, practice 18 or 19 hours a day. So it's only useful, if you really want to exert your practice. But if your practice is not going well for the 12 hours, there's no use in fasting, yeah? But you should not, you should keep the food down, keep it down. If you get tired after eating, then you've eaten too much, yeah? Okay.
I have one question.
Yeah?
Is it possible to become a monk if I'm a diabetic?
I wouldn't, I don't think, it would be a problem.
Okay.
Yeah?
Can you please translate?
It's not one of the requirements, or? No. Only diseases, that affect other people. Yeah? That is so. So, Andrew.
So, Kubernetes, can you please translate for me?
No, he was asking to the Ajahn that there is 40 different objects of meditation.
Yeah. Investigation.
He was asking why we were doing the objects, why we were using these objects, breath or why, because, in the scriptures there is, I think, 40 different. But
yes, it includes, it doesn't include Buddha. I mean, in the scriptures, I mean, nose is, for instance, one object. All the internal, all the outside organs is one. Skin is one. Teeth is one. Nails is one. Hair of the head is one. Hair of the body is one. And then the liver, and then the whatever. Intestines. The flesh, the blood. I can't remember. Or the Nam Leung. Yeah. I mean, we recite them sometimes. In the evening chanting. Why we do it now is because, first of all, before we can start investigation, we need to calm our mind, until it can stay with one object. And the object of the breath or the Buddha is easier.
Easier.
Yeah? That's the whole point. Yeah? Once you can get calm, once there are no more thoughts, no more memories coming up, and you can stick to your Buddha or you can stick to the breath, then you start with the 5 outside objects. So the hair of the head, the hair of the body, the nails, the teeth, and the skin. So we slowly approach, until we go inside. But then we do the same thing in the beginning of our body investigation. We do the same thing. We repeat skin, 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 until we can start to slowly see the skin, within our inner eyes, And only then, once we can see the things with our inner eyes, then we can start to really investigate them, cut them up, or put some fire underneath, or see, or take the whole body and see how it decays. Or cut it open, or cut off the skin, then we can see. Once we can internally visualize. But before for some people, or for myself, it was very difficult. It took me nine months, of extreme training, 16 to 18 hours a day, until I get a visual image, a real image. So get first calm, see that there is a state where there is no dukkha, then you get more confident, and then you get maybe more energy, to find a way out of dukkha. This is how you start to believe the teaching of the Lord Buddha. But not doing this and doing that, that is the way of the world. Oh, this doesn't work, let's do this, Oh, that doesn't work, let's do this. That's the way of the world. That is not practice. Practice is just like learning to walk. We have only one objective. We want to walk, and now we want to get calm. That is our objective. That's the first objective. Once we can get calm, we need that. Just like when you work, when you do daily work and you don't sleep, how long can you go through life? After 3 days you're dead. So we need this rest. We need to be able to, every time that we want to get into this calm and replenish our energies. Just like you eat and sleep. Otherwise you wouldn't be able to work, for a week. 1, 2 days maybe, and then you're dead. Okay, understood? So, today was long. New people bring new life. Breathe in.
I ask one more question. Денис, пожалуйста, переведи тоже. Я сейчас вспомнил. Если я делаю investigation только pain, то уделяю investigation слишком мало времени, потому что нужно дождаться, пока боль появится, и потом ее исследовать. Могу ли я исследовать не только боль, но и другие какие-нибудь исследования?
He is saying if he is doing pain investigation, he has to wait for one time, to sit for one time before the pain arises. And he says it seems like he's not using the time because he's waiting.
You don't have to wait for, you don't have to wait for the pain, just stick with your objective. There might be other things coming first. There might be boredom coming first. I mean, it depends on the characteristic of the person. Some people get after 10 minutes bored, with the Buddha or breath. So that is the first hindrance. Pain might become later. For other people, who can concentrate, then it is pain. So understand boredom. What is boredom? Huh? Ask yourself, what is boredom? And then see it, investigate this, until you understand what is boredom, and then you can go to the next entry. Or what is tiredness?
Okay, thank you.
I mean, the objective is to stick with the Buddha, and then whenever a hindrance comes up, that deters you. That deters you from sticking to your Buddha, or you get bored, or you get, whatever, restless and things like that. And then you start to investigate these things, these objects. Okay?